What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you all have had a great Mother's Day. I am actually um, relaxing right now on the deck. Got some herbs and plants and planted out here, trying to make the place look a little bit nicer. See, the sun's going down behind me, and tomorrow begins the work week, which seems kind of strange because it seems like I just ended the work week today. Anyway, I digress. Um, interesting thing. Interesting. The Jacksonville Jaguars might be kicked out of their stadium for 2 years. And you kind of start looking at some things and saying, okay. Here's the thing. The I wish the Commanders would get kicked out of their stadium like permanently because that stadium is ass. It's ass. It is the worst stadium in the NFL. But here's the deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguar Stadium, and I remember being there at a Super Bowl, I think in 2004. It was Eagles versus New England, and they got a loss at that one too. Um, and thinking that that stadium was kind of worn down then. That was 2004. So enter 19 years later. That stadium is even more worn down. Now they've done some renovations to it to try and dress it up. They put the Jaguar in front of it and things like that to make it look better. But what the city is proposing is that they do renovations to the stadium, not build a new stadium, do renovations to the stadium that will take about 2 years. And during that 2 years, they're basically saying the Jaguars won't be able to play there. Their solution is trying to get them to be able to play someplace still in Jacksonville. The problem with that is the biggest stadium that's there is 15,000 seats. This is kind of like, if you remember when the Chargers first went to LA, they were playing in a small stadium. Not that they were filling up that stadium, they weren't. But 15,000 seat stadium, there's high schools in Texas that have stadiums that are bigger than that. I'm kind of surprised that there's not a local stadium with all the colleges in Florida that would be bigger than 15,000 seating. To give you an idea, the DC Defenders play at the Audi Stadium, which is a soccer stadium. That seats 19,000. So here's where I get speculation because here's the thing that's been kind of the rumor forever is the Jacksonville Jaguars will eventually be England's football team. They've played in Europe more than any other team, and this year they literally have back-to-back games in England. They're staying there for, a week and a half. So what you have to look at this and say, if you're the NFL, A, you look at the European market as the new teat. And B, you say, do we want to have the Jaguars there in a 15-seat stadium in Jacksonville where they've already been having problems making the same kind of revenue as other teams in Jacksonville? That if you put the team, and maybe you do it as an experiment for 2 years and say, Jacksonville, you're relocating to England for 2 years on a trial basis, and we're going to see how that works. That is one of those things that I think could be a possibility. You see the schedule that they're having. They're actually, the NFL, at least, the thing you can say about the NFL is this. They recognize when they need to change what they're doing to get a better result. Initially, they thought all we have to do is play football and automatically people are going to want to watch. They found out with Thursday Night Football, putting the lesser teams, the lesser known teams or teams that we know are not good teams, the non-marquee teams and matchups on Thursday Night Football on a short week, it's bad and the ratings aren't good. And since they're getting paid, almost $2 billion by Amazon for what, 18, 17 games, 18 games that they figure, 17 games that they figure that we've got to do better, and they put on better matchups and basically now have it where they can shift. Well, I think they recognize that, they can't just put on lousy teams in Europe. That now, if we're going to try and sell and make money there, we need to do better matchups and we need to do more things to make it a better product. Um, I don't know if Jacksonville is the better product. They were a playoff team last year. But definitely, if there was a home based team there, and you now have an excuse to say, well, Jacksonville, you're already playing 2 games there this year. Um, let's try it. I can see that happening. Um, for me, this is, I've talked about this for many, many years as an idea. But here's the problem. Here's the problem for Thursday night football and also playing in Europe. And it's a real simple solution that, I'm almost done. Almost done, baby. That benefits everybody. Okay. NFL wants to have an 18-game season. That's crazy. But how about they have a 19-week season? How about adding an extra bye week in there? Teams have 2 bye weeks. Okay? I mean, I don't know about you. Even though it's a bye week, I'm still watching football. And that's an extra week of revenue that the NFL can have. More games, less games on every Sunday, but spread out over a longer time. I mean, technically, yeah, you can get the Sunday ticket and watch 4 games at the same time, but you're not really watching them. If it ended up being 3, okay, you're still okay. But what you could do is, if you're playing in Europe, you have a bye week before the game in Europe and a bye week before the Thursday night game. Oh, wait a minute. That means you could go to Europe, be ambassadors for the game for a week, get used to the time change, play a good game, and come back. Also, instead of having guys playing on Sunday, hardly able to get out of bed on Monday, trying to practice on Tuesday, traveling on Wednesday, and playing on Thursday, you have a week to get ready for that Thursday night game. You have enough time for the players to recuperate. So you don't have guys that are possibly injured because their body hadn't recovered. Can I say like Tua? I think that's the way you do it. Now again, I'm a guy who, shout out to the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day, who broadcasts from his mother's basement. I know nobody listens to me at the NFL, but if you did something like that, you can say, we care about the player's health. That's why we don't want them playing 4 days after playing a game. So we want them to have a break in between there. And then you look like, wow, they do care about the player's health. You get a better product on the field, you look good, and you get an extra week of revenue. I don't see how that's not a win for everybody. But we'll see. I wish the Commanders would get kicked out of FedEx, because that place, they should never play another football game there. Ever. Ever. Peace.